We'll call our regularly scheduled meeting to order at this time. Mr. Stokes, if you would, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Earl Gray.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Jim Childs.
Present.
Councilman Derek Rogers.
Here.
Council Lady Rhonda James.
Here.
Councilman Craig Crawford.
Here.
Council Lady Paula Stinnett.
Here.
Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Let the record show we do have a quorum for tonight's meeting. This time we do our invocation and our pledge. Mr. Childs, please do the invocation. Ms. Stinnett, lead us in the pledge, please.
Yes, sir.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for your love, everything that you do. Thank you for our community, our citizens, and for everybody that works for the city. Thank you for Christmas during this time when our Lord and Savior was born. So be with us, help us make the right decisions, and take care of all the citizens and us during these holidays. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Look. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Man, the school system's doing good. They all have the pledge.
Welcome, everybody. Good to see a crowd in here. I think we could have a basketball game, a football game, a volleyball game, a softball game. We could have about any kind of game in here we want. It's good to see you folks here. Thank you for coming. This time we'll set the agenda for tonight's meeting. Ms. Hume, do you have any additions?
No, Mr. Mayor, I do not.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Crawford. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Agenda is set. The next item on the agenda is the minutes from our regularly scheduled meetings. We do have two regularly scheduled meetings that was held on October the 28th. Special called meeting that was held on November the 18th. If members of council have had an opportunity to review the minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. James, second by Mr. Rogers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is resolutions. Resolution number 2024-04. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2024-04, a resolution to become a member of the Georgia Interlocal Risk Management Agency, GIRMA, and participate in one or more of GIRMA's funds. Whereas Article 9, Section 3, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia authorizes municipalities and other political subdivisions to contract with each other for activities which the contracting parties are authorized by law to undertake. And whereas Chapter 85 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated authorizes certain public entities to execute intergovernmental contracts to become members of an interlocal risk management agency for the purpose of sharing their accident, disability, supplemental medical, general liability, motor vehicle, and property damage risks in whole or in part. And whereas the municipalities within the state of Georgia have found it increasingly difficult to obtain commercial insurance protection, to have found the cost of such protection often exceeds the ability of the public entity to pay, and whereas the public entities in Georgia need a stable method of managing their risk to avoid the unpredictable and cyclical nature of commercial insurance market, and whereas many Georgia public entities do not have sufficient resources to self-insure their risk on an individual basis. And whereas the public entity of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, located in Catoosa County, desires to become a member of the Georgia Interlocal Risk Management Agency, GIRMA, an interlocal risk management agency formed pursuant to Chapter 85 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated. And whereas the intergovernmental contract requires all members of GIRMA to participate in at least one GIRMA fund, and whereas the governing authority of the public entity has reviewed the intergovernmental contract, the fund election form, the bylaws of GIRMA, and finds that the goals of GIRMA and the obligation imposed on the public entity by membership in GIRMA and the fund are funds selected on the fund election form are in accordance with the philosophy and public policy objectives of the community, and whereas the governing authority of the public entity finds that it is in the best interest of its residents to become a member of GERMA and to join fund or funds selected on the fund election form. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing authority of the public entity, the mayor of the public entity is authorized to execute intergovernmental contract required of public entity to become a member of GERMA and the GERMA funds marked in the election form. A copy of the intergovernmental contract and bylaws of GERMA and the completed fund election form are attached here and made a part of this resolution as Appendix 1. The powers of GERMA shall be limited to those contained in the documents attached in Appendix 1 as amended from time to time, and those contained in Chapter 85 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated in the rules and regulations of the Insurance Commissioner for the State of Georgia. The commencement of the operations or continuing operations of GERMA and the obligation of the public entity to fully participate in the operation shall be effected and effectuated in accordance with their intergovernmental contract and bylaws in the fund election form. The mayor of the public entity is designated as the public entity's representative to GERMA and is authorized to complete and execute any additional documents required for membership in GERMA or the selected fund or funds. Public entity may change its representation by making a written request to the Georgia Municipal Association, the program administrator for GERMA. This resolution shall take effective on this date of adoption, 12/9/24. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Item number 2 under resolutions. Let's vote on that one first. To have a motion to
So
vote
moved,
on
sir.
resolution number 2024-04.
Second.
Who made the motion?
Paul.
Ms. Stinnett and Mr. Crawford. Ms. Childs.
Yes.
Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. James.
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2 under resolutions. Resolution number 2024-05. Mr. Stoltz.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2024-05, resolution to amend the City of Fort Oglethorpe personnel policies. It is hereby declared to be the purpose and intent of this resolution to add and amend certain personnel policies for the City of Fort Oglethorpe to provide for provisions therein, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting policies or parts thereof, to provide for adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Whereas the Mayor and Council have previously ordained by ordinance that amendments to the City of Fort Oglethorpe personnel policy may be made by resolution of the Mayor and Council, and whereas the General Assembly of the State of Georgia has enacted legislation requiring municipalities to develop policies related to the use of naloxone in all governmental buildings. A copy of said personnel policy is attached to as Exhibit A. And whereas the Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act has been enacted by the United States government and the City of Fort Oglethorpe is required to enact certain personnel policies related to that enactment. A copy of said personnel policies is attached here as Exhibit B. And whereas it is desirous to amend the City of Fort Oglethorpe paid parental leave policy to allow for 4 weeks of paid parental leave under certain circumstances. A copy of the personnel policy is attached here to Exhibit C. And whereas the Mayor and Council desire to enact a policy addressing a policy and the procedure for all employees seeking election to any political office in Walker or Catoosa County. A copy of the personnel policy is attached here to as Exhibit D. Be it now therefore resolved as follows. The Mayor and Council of the City of Fort Oglethorpe hereby adopts the attached personnel policies and direct that they be included in the City of Fort Oglethorpe personnel policies. 2, that the personnel policies shall become effective January 1st, 2025. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Have a motion to vote on resolution number 2024-05.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? Ms. Stinnett.
Yes.
Ms. James.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Childs.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 3 under resolutions, resolution number 2024-06. Mr. Stoltz.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2024-06, Mayor and Council of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, excise tax on rooms, lodging and accommodations. A resolution, the Mayor and Council for the City of Fort Oglethorpe to request a local act of the General Assembly of the State of Georgia that increases the municipal excise tax on rooms, lodging, and accommodations from 6% to 8% pursuant as authorized by OCGA 481351B2 to identify tourism production development projects and to specify the allocations of proceeds. Whereas the governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe is authorized to levy an excess tax of not more than 8% in any room, lodging, or accommodation furnished by any person or legal entity licensed by or required to pay a business or occupational tax to the municipality for operating a hotel, motel, inn, lodge, tourist camp, cabin, campground, or other place in which rooms, lodging, or accommodations are regularly or periodically furnished for value, and whereas the provisions of OCGA Section 481351B, the city is desirous of increasing the above identified tax from 6% to 8%, and whereas on adoption of this resolution, the city is desirous of requesting authorization of a local act of the General Assembly of the State of Georgia which authorizes the City of Fort Oglethorpe to enact this excise tax in the way and manner proposed. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the City of Fort Oglethorpe that the General Assembly of the State of Georgia by and through its resolution is requested to enact legislation that A, authorizes the City of Fort Oglethorpe pursuant to paragraph 2 of subsection B of Code Section 481351 of OCGA to levy an excise tax at a rate not to exceed 8% on any room, lodging, accommodation furnished by any person or legal entity licensee by or required to pay a business or occupational tax to the municipality for operating a hotel, motel, inn, lodge, tourist camp, tourist cabin, campground, or other place in which rooms, lodging, or accommodations are regularly or periodically furnished for value. Authorize the City of Fort Oglethorpe in each fiscal year in which the tax is collected pursuant to paragraph 2 of subsection B of Code Section 481351 of OCGA to expend an amount equal to not less than 50% of the total taxes collected that exceed the amount of taxes that would be collected at the rate of 5% for promoting tourism, conventions, and trade shows by the designated marketing organization designated by the City of Fort Oglethorpe or by which other entities already authorized to administer tourism funds pursuant to an existing contract as specified by paragraph 2 of subsection E of Code Section 481351 of OCG, Official Code of Georgia, annotated, and authorizes the remaining amount of taxes collected that exceed the amount of taxes that would be collected at the rate of 5%, which is not otherwise expended under paragraph A of this section for the creation or expansion of physical attractions which are available and open to the public and which improve destination appeal to visitors, support visitors' experiences, and are used by visitors pursuant to paragraph 6 of subsection 2 of the Code Section 481350 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, passed, signed, adopted this 9th day of December 2024. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to vote on resolution number 2024-06.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. James. Any discussion?
Yeah, Robbie, could you reread that?
Oh, Lord.
Any other discussion? Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Stedman?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1 under new business, recommendation to renew a telecommunications and right-of-way management contract. Ms. Stoltz.
Mayor and Council, this is renewal of our Georgia Municipal Association contract that we entered into last year and resulted in approximately $50,000 cash to the city for the rental of the communications tower. This group has done, through GMA, has done a lot of work for us this year in regard to our cell phone towers, and we would recommend that there be a renewal of contract. It's been beneficial to us.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stinnett, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 2, recommendation to enclose the Arlene Crime Municipal Pool Pump Room. Ms. Hughes.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The Arlene Crime Municipal Pump Room has an open area above the pool's pump room, and it's been very cold, and it was very cold last year as well. So to prevent those pipes from freezing, the area needs to be enclosed to protect that infrastructure from the elements. Quotes were obtained from 3 vendors, and Randy Wilson Painting submitted the lowest responsible quote in the amount of $6,400. And if approved, that money would come out of the SPOS fund and would be completed in 3 weeks from the date of the notice to proceed.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 3, recommendation to approve an award for an annual software service agreement. Ms. Hughes.
Thank you. Cassell is our software for a variety of things, including the general ledger, payroll, accounts payable, utility management, cash receipting, and occupational tax collection and document management. You guys came on a really fun night, right? Oh my goodness. The software includes support, services, maintenance, and upgrades. And it's just time for our annual renewal of that contract with Cassell in the amount of $31,992. That will be split between the general fund in the amount of $23,994, and the water and sewer fund in the amount of $7,998.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Mr. Crawford, second by Ms. James. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4, recommendation to approve streets to be resurfaced with local maintenance and improvement grant funding in 2025. Ms. Hume.
Thank you. It's that time of year again, another time of year again, where we approve this at the end of the year. The Georgia Department of Transportation's local maintenance improvement grant funding has been awarded to the city, and we have to split with GDOT the amount to pave the local roads with a 30% match. The amount of funding this year to be awarded through that LMIG funding is $121,872.39, with the city agreeing to a 30% match. And staff is recommending that the following streets be approved to be resurfaced with LMIG funding: Flagstone Drive beginning at Lakeview Drive and ending at Flagstone Drive, Brandywine Drive beginning at Yellow Brick Road to the end of Brandywine Drive, and Yellow Brick Road beginning at Flagstone Drive to the end of Yellow Brick Road.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
I heard the in between there, Mr. Rogers, and the second by Mr. Child. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5, recommendation to renew contract for municipal court solicitor services. Ms. Hume.
Thank you. The city is required to have a solicitor to prosecute cases that come before the municipal court. The solicitor has to be an attorney licensed in the state of Georgia, and it has to be an attorney who's also in good standing with the Georgia Bar Association. Patrick Clemens has served as a municipal court solicitor for several decades, and he meets those requirements. And the court recommends retaining him as a solicitor in the estimated amount of $19,600. And if approved, that renewed contract will provide the same rate of pay as the previous amount of the contract, which is $350 per session, with the expectation of 2 sessions per court date. The agreement is a 1-year contract, and the estimated amount is based on that amount of cases that we expect to, court dates that we expect to have.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Childs. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 6, recommendation to renew a contract for municipal court assistant solicitor service. Ms. Hughes.
Well, where there is one, there has to be a backup. So this is for our assistant solicitor, who is not used as often as Mr. Clemens is. Again, we require that attorney to act as a solicitor, and so in the event that our full-time solicitor is not able to be there, or in the event that we have some pretty heavy dockets, which we have had a lot of this year, the court is recommending that the contract with Matthew Williamson be renewed in the amount of $8,400 coming out of the general fund. Again, it's that same contract amount, $350 per session, with approximately 2 sessions per month.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. City Manager's report. Ms. Hughes.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you all here tonight. It's so nice to have such a full house. It's wonderful. Thank you all for coming out. Winter skating is open now until January 31st, excluding Mondays and Christmas Day. It's open from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and is open on Stable 41, so please come out and enjoy winter skating. A lot of people have been asking questions about our calendar delivery. Our calendar delivery starts next week, next Monday, December 16th. So you will see city employees out in the community hand delivering calendars. We look forward to doing that. And then we have some closures coming up. City will be closed December 23rd through the 25th in observance of the Christmas holiday. And there will be no regularly scheduled meeting on that Monday, December 23rd. And the city will also be closed on January 1st in observance of New Year's Day. So we look forward to seeing all of you again on our next regularly scheduled meeting, which is Monday, January 13th. And so now I'm going to turn it over. Well, first I'm going to recognize somebody who has been with the city a very, very long time. Mr. Blake Vaughn of the Public Utilities Department and some other departments here and there has been here for 30 years. He started in 1994. So I won't make Blake stand up, but he's sitting on the second row. Blake shuns the spotlight. He doesn't like the spotlight, which is okay. But we do appreciate you giving us the chance to honor you tonight, because that is a very, very big commitment and a testament to your dedication. All those years of service is wonderful. Would you like to say a few words or no? You're just happy to. So, sincerely, Blake, thank you so much.
Thanks, Blake.
And now I'm going to turn it over to Jeff Long, who will be talking a little bit about our Employee of the Year.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This year we did have Employee of the Year. The employees vote on every year of all the citywide departments, and I was honored to have one this year. And usually you're here 2 years to 30 years before you might be nominated for the outstanding job that you've put on for the city and for the mayor and council to make us shine. And this year we had an employee started to work with us, and I did fib a little bit, but this week, but he was come to the city in August of this year, and come on our brush and trash truck picking up, and he within 3 weeks he said, "Hey, I'm ready to go out on the truck by myself." And so he was out doing an outstanding job, wasn't digging yards up, and I mean paid real good attention. And that's the hardest thing to learn on that truck is not scooping up dirt with it. Even Molly can attest to that. She's been on that truck before. But and then he come in one day and he said, "Hey," he said, "we'll get up all the scrap metal." And so he would run the route and come back after he dumped at the landfill, and he'd go pick up all the metal. He'd write a list of the addresses, pick it up, throw it in our scrap pile where we could turn around and sell it to bring revenue in versus paying the landfill to dump it in the landfill. So everything he does, I mean, he'll work through lunchtime, sometimes take a late lunch, and sometimes the employees is pulling out of the gate at 4:02, 4:03, and he's just coming in. He makes sure the job is done. And I heard from multiple employees from my department to the utility department, said, "Man, he needs to be the employee of the year. He's making us look good." So at this time, I would like to call up Nick Biddle, employee of the year.
This is a democratic process and people vote throughout the entire organization for this, and Mr. Biddle, you were the only employee who received multiple votes. So it says a lot about you. We're very glad you're here. And everyone meet Nick.
And I did tell him that he needed to come to council meeting tonight to be introduced as one of the new employees, which he is a new employee, but he stood out above and got a little extra. But this is to the Employee of the Year 2024. This award is proudly presented to Nick Biddle in recognition of your outstanding performance, superior dedication, and positive attitude on the job throughout the past year. With heartfelt appreciation from the city manager, department directors, and staff. Congratulations. And along with that, we've got you a little check for being the employee of the year.
Congratulations.
There you go.
I will say this has been the best employer I've ever worked for in this city. And what you said about the yards isn't strictly true. I just made sure I go back out and cover it back up.
I wish someone would have taught me that. All right, I'm now going to turn it over to Tony Ellis, the Director of Parks and Recreation. He's going to tell us a little bit about what the rec is doing, and then he's going to talk about all of you wonderful people.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Hune. Mayor and Council, before I want to introduce our guest tonight, I want to share a couple things with you going on in the Recreation Department. We started our basketball season this past Saturday. We have 25 big deal because Michael Harris, the center fielder for the Atlanta Braves, is going to be headlining the clinic. So it's not often you get somebody with that kind of name to come, and it's nice that the high school and us have a good partnership that we can work together and bring in someone of that caliber. He's also bringing with him Marquise Grissom Jr. and Lawrence Butler from the Oakland A's. So we'll have 3 professional baseball players running a baseball clinic. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. If it's cold, we're going to go in a gym somewhere, but that's on December 28th. But we're excited about that. And right now we have close to 200 kids registered for that camp, and I'm sure they're going to be excited to be able to meet those guys and get their picture made and autographs and all that kind of stuff. Okay, now to introduce our guests. Tonight we have the LFO softball, volleyball, and some of our football team here. And we want to recognize them on the achievements that they've attained this year. All 3 teams made the state playoffs. I'll say a little bit about one of the teams because I know the most about, and that's the softball team. Morgan Grace is the head coach of the softball team, and not only did they make the state playoffs, and a lot of people didn't give them a chance to even get there, but when they did get there, in their first series against Morgan County, they split the first game double headers, and unfortunately got beaten a heartbreaker in the 3rd game, but Morgan County went on and won the state championship. So, you know, that says a lot about the softball team and where they've come from. Morgan was just a first-year head coach, and that's a big deal for her, and we're excited about what she's going to do with the softball program going forward. But not only do we have the softball team, the volleyball team is led by Coach Diane Norwood, and to be honest, Coach Norwood, I thought you retired when I did, but I'm glad you didn't. But they told me you were still the volleyball coach, and I didn't know that, but she's been there for quite a few years and done a great job with the volleyball program. And they went to state playoffs this year as well. And the football representative tonight is Coach Nick Dunn. Coach Dunn works with the high school football program, but Coach Dunn also volunteered with us in the rec department this year to coach our 12U football team, him and Jacob Gilbert as well. So we were blessed and fortunate that 2 high school coaches were willing to volunteer and donate their time to try to develop our younger players, and we really appreciate what they did with the football program there. And also our 10U team, made the GRPA playoffs this year as well in the rec department. So we were excited and proud of them, and that was a big deal for those guys. They had a great year. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let softball go first. So Coach Grace, if you'll come up and introduce your team and talk about your team, whatever you'd like to do. And then when she's done, Coach Norwood, if you'll come next. And then Coach Dunn, if you'll come up and talk about the football team. Again, we appreciate all you teams being here. We're very proud of the year you had and how you represent not only LFO High School, but our community. And that says a lot about you and the character you have and the time and effort you put in, and the same for the coaches, because it's not easy to go to school and then go to practice and do all the things you do in the off season and all the requirements, plus have a social life of some sort as well. So we appreciate all you do, appreciate you being here. And Coach Grace, if you'll come up and introduce the softball girls at this time.
First off, I want to thank the council for having us, and Coach Ellis as well for inviting us. I'm going to introduce the girls. I'll go with the seniors. So we got Micha Valdez, played second base for us. Micha, you can stand up. Y'all stand up. Okay. Micaiah Matthews played center field for us. Bree Johnson pitched for us. Skylar Phillips played first base for us. Miley Howard caught for us. Miley. Blakely Parrish also pitched for us. Lizette Jimenez played third base. Hope Alexander played shortstop. Bree Johnson. No. Kaylee Johnson, I already said Bree. Kaylee Johnson caught for us and was a heck of a DP. Georgia Fox, our lone freshman. And Mia Valdez played left field for us. I want to say I'm very proud of these girls, especially to our seniors. I want to say thank you. Not many people know I am the third head coach that these seniors have had. You go to high school for 4 years. I mean, do the math. That's the third head coach. They showed up every day, day in and day out, and gave it all they had. And I set the bar pretty high for them. I come in and I told them first thing out the gate, we were going to state playoffs, and they all looked at me like I was crazy. But I told them, I said, that is our goal, and we're not going to go anywhere short of that. Even though we knew we were going to state playoffs, not many people knew that we were. This team went from a single-digit win season last year to 15 wins this year and appearance in the Sweet 16. So not only did we go the first round of state, they went to the second round of state and beat the state champions in the postseason. They're the only team that beat the state champions in the postseason. I'm so proud of their effort and their heart and their trust in me as the coach. Even our juniors, they've been in 3 years. They've had a different coach every season. That's tough, and that's a lot to ask, and I thank you for your trust, and I'm proud of each and every one of you and what you've accomplished. You have set the bar really high going into next year and for the future of LFO softball, and I'm very proud of each and every one of you. Some individuals I want to recognize for our all-region first team, Blakely Parrish and Hope Alexander. And then second team was Micha Valdez and Miley Howard. Our honorable mentions were Micaiah Matthews, Kaylee Johnson, and Lizette Jimenez. Not only did these girls get it done on the field, they got it done in the classroom. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 12 were all academic. And those were Blakely Parrish, Hope Alexander, Micha Valdez, Mia Valdez, Kaylee Johnson, Bree Johnson, and Skylar Phillips. I'm thankful for the job that I have. I'm proud of these girls, and I love each and every one of them, and I just can't wait to see what this next season holds. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Coach.
Gotta be a crowd.
Threw me off when it said Grace, you know?
Boogie was giving her a hard time. He said, "I'm going to coach you."
Go in there. Yeah, if we don't, we won't.
Are we gonna get pictures?
Thanks for the invitation here, and I am Coach Norwood, and I have been coaching volleyball for 35 years, so it's been a while.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I wasn't prepared for this, so I'd like to introduce my seniors first, and that is Annabelle Davis, Chloe Claus, and Mercedes Thompson. My other players are Montana Knoblet, Isla Rizvik, Shaylee May, Kenley Slatton. I think it's everybody that I got here. I also like to recognize our all-region players were Annabelle Davis and Chloe Qualls, and they also were all academic for the state of Georgia. Our season, we had 16 wins. We did make it to the first round of playoffs. We were all on pins and needles at our last practice with the power rankings. We weren't sure where we were going to land, so we were all standing around the TV on the monitor and the computer trying to figure out if we were going where we were going to be. So that was exciting and different. But I appreciate my girls. They work hard, they play hard, and they're a good group of girls, and I appreciate them.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Thanks, Coach. You got his phone.
Let's go. City Council, thank you for having us tonight. I'm Coach Nicholas Dunn. We have Jacob Gilbert, our special teams coordinator, and Coach Brian back there, our head football coach. I'm here firstly to announce first team all-region offense. First, our running back, Trey Lewis. Second one, receiver, Jared Mitchell. Lastly, quarterback, Darian Keefe. Second team all region for offense. First, Landon Larson, offensive line. And secondly, Obed Andres, offensive line. First team defense, for me, defensive end, Blake Rizzo. Secondly, linebacker, Tamoris Johnson. And lastly, defensive back, Jamie Hinton. And then we had 4 honorable mention. First, Rayshawn Tolliver. Secondly, defensive line, Josh Connor. And then the seniors that came, first, DB receiver, Carson Goff. Secondly, DB Julius Bryant. And thirdly, center Keegan Cook. This was a very enjoyable group to coach. This is the first time we've been in the playoffs since 2018. So huge round of applause for this senior region. We played two teams that went to the third round of the playoffs. One will compete for a state championship, Rockmart. And truly, we played Rockmart to a 21-13 up to the end of the third quarter. So these guys have bought into what Coach Bryant's taught. Most all of them are coming back, which is always a joy. And I'd like to give another round of applause for the LFO football team.
You done?
No, not quite. Just one more thing. Thought I was done, but I wasn't. Thank you all again for everybody coming out tonight. After this meeting, there is a party in the next room, so we have lots of refreshments and food and everybody, so please don't leave. Just head on in there, take a left. Also, I just want to say thank you to you all for coming out, for your support for this council. I want to say thank you to Blake again for his very, very dedicated service to the city. Thank you to Mr. Biddle back there, Nick Biddle, for being our Employee of the Year, for coming out, next year. No pressure, buddy. That's rough. And thank you to this wonderful staff. They're all over there kind of hiding in the hallway, but this is the best place I've ever worked, and I really appreciate the mayor and council support. Thank you all very much, and Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Next item is mayor and council comments. First off, thanks to all you student athletes. It's not only for what you accomplished, but when you're out on the road in these road games, you're representing this city. And I just want to thank you for the representation that you have given the city of Fort O. And kudos on all the accomplishments for each team. I mean, you got a school that, 3 of your programs go to the state playoffs. You're doing something right. Thanks to the coaches and the combined effort. And you don't have to be a stranger, you can come see us any Monday night here, 2nd and 4th. But thank all of y'all for what you do and representing this city the way you do. Hats off to you and thank you. All the employees in the city, I'd like to say a big thank you. We had a great year. Staff, all the employees, Blake, congratulations certainly to you. And I guess what I have to say with Nick is welcome and congratulations. But we certainly appreciate what you do. We appreciate the staff and the council that we have in this city. We've come a long way since I've been setting up here on this thing about 14 years ago. It's amazing how this city's grown, how the staff has grown. And I'd just like to say a big thank you to all of them. And the people that's watching us on TV tonight, like I said, big Merry Christmas. We won't see you again after the first of the year. So have a safe and happy holiday, and just remember what the season is really about. Miss Child.
You're old. I want to touch on what he said. Thank you for all the athletes at high school. Sports, you're not only athletic, but apparently the principal and teachers are doing something too, because there's a lot of all academics. So congratulations on the season. And again, you represent our city very well. Congratulations, Blake, Nick. I want to say a shout out for a visitor, which is my first great grandson, Aiden. Stand up, Aiden. He is studying, for some reason they're studying mayors in his class, so I told him he needed to come. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. We got a great staff. Love all of you. Be safe.
Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, just congratulations to all you athletes and coaches out there. I've got to know a lot of you coaches, and y'all are like family to me, and I appreciate that. And most of you athletes out there, I've watched you grow up. My son, he goes to school with all you guys and girls, and I've coached several of you guys. And some of you girls I've coached, and even one of you coaches over there. So it's been nice to sit back and watch y'all represent our community like they said, and what you've done. This is just the fall sports, Coach, or Mr. Mayor, that has done this. It's a good start to the school system, good school spirit when you start off going 3 teams to the state playoffs. Right now, currently our boys basketball, I think, are ranked #1 in the state. So they're putting on a good show up there on the hill. So if you get a chance to go visit those young men and women. But appreciate everybody for coming out. And like I said, just like you mentioned, the Christmas season, think of somebody. I know everybody knows somebody that's alone. Just give them a phone call, a card, or something. It might brighten their season. And I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Travis Allison out there. He's one of the biggest fans for you kids out there. He's a big supporter of the youth athletics, so he joined us tonight. Travis, welcome.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers.
I'll echo much of that. Thank you to the student athletes. We're proud of each and every one of you that are here and the accomplishments that you've had. We thank you to the coaches as well. What an incredible group of coaches that presented tonight. I almost didn't recognize when he said Morgan Grace. I think of Morgan Crawford. But Morgan, she's doing an incredible job. All of you coaches are doing an incredible job. And I'll also say thank you to the parents. I see a lot of parents out there. Y'all are super important to these kids, bringing them out to practice. I mean, everybody knows how much dedication it requires of the parents to get your kids to this level.
Oh, go ahead. I was talking about.
So appreciate all the parents that are here tonight as well. And then Blake, 30 years, man, that's incredible, absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for sticking with us all this time. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
And Ella's here.
Oh, Ella, my daughter.
Yeah.
I'll do the child shout out to, she's in the system, 11 years old, and I'm glad you came out tonight. I love you, baby.
Ms. James.
Well, everybody, welcome. I'm a warrior, and I graduated in 19 and
Long time ago.
long time ago. But welcome and congratulations to our employees. That was a big accomplishment to be that new and to get something like that. That's an honor. That speaks highly of you. But thank you guys for being here tonight, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Ms. Stinney.
Class of 83, feathers up, everyone. Merry Christmas, and let's echo everything that they said. You ready to get this party started? Yo, yo, yo! Ready?
We are Santa.
All right, here we go. We are Santa's elves, but we're not on the shelf. Santa's always watching, so behave yourself. Welcome to Christmas at the Hall, y'all. This is where we jingle bell rock the night away. Santa doesn't come in a one-horse sleigh. He'll be arriving the reindeer way. Before we greet the jolly old elf, let's get rapping with James Rogers himself.
Right. Let's do one for Santa Claus. All right. There we go. Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Come on, everybody.
Come on now.
Another one.
Come on now. Yeah.
It's not Christmas, not a house, not a creature will stir, not evil in the mouth. Stockings were hung by the chimney with care. Hope to St. Nicholas will be there. Yeah. I was in my kerchief, I was in the cap. We had just settled down for a long winter's nap. Went out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter. I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Then what to my wondering eyes would appear but a miniature sleighing a tiny reindeer with a little old driver so lightly quick. I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick, more rapid than eagles as fast as they came me. Whistling he shouted and called him by name. As I drew in the head and was turning around, down the chimney, old fat boy came with a bound. He said not a word, he went straight to his work, filled all the stocks and turned with a jerk. Stuck his finger up the side of his nose, gave a nod up the chimney he rose, but I heard him exclaim as he rode out of sight. Merry Christmas, everybody, and to all a good night. Let's hear it.
Great work. All right. Look who's here. Selfies with Santa.
Are we gonna get pictures?
Pictures. No, with the teams.
That was super fun.
With athletes.
So let's make make sure that each of the teams come up and they can take a picture with the mayor and council, other with the rest of you.
Hold on
One thing, yeah.
hold on 1 minute. We gotta make it official. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Childs and Mr. Rogers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.
Go Warriors and go Dogs.